After 2 strenuous weeks of beta testing and a big major bug recently patched out yesterday, the Ibn Battuta is here in all of its glory. So I want to talk about the big changes, the balance patch, and everything included with faith, religion, and a militarist affinity rework. There is a lot going on, a lot to break down. With this update, I'm going to cover the big headliners, and then I'll let you guys get into the nitty-gritty details by looking at the exact patch notes. So as a brief summation of this massive update, there was a huge culture rework. For militarists in particular, they received a rework to their iron reserves. The Phoenician emblematic unit became a naval transport, and then influence scaling for the late game was adjusted, especially for policies like enact civic, attached territory, and merge city. Those influence costs grew a lot slower. Finally, a new line of sight calculator was added. This is to make sure that archers are a bit more intuitive, they say, and just checking from the devs' comments, it seems that they made clipping through areas like forests a bit more sensible, so now archers' line of sight isn't so janky to kind of play with. So not to put words into people's mouths, I'll let Cat of Nine Tails, the marketing director for Humankind, speak directly. We cut the height of units and forest from 2 elevations to 1. Now that's going to allow it to feel a lot more smoother and just more sensible when you are firing for your archers. And line of sight itself has been updated just a tad bit, so now it makes a bit more sense when you are exploring the world. Those forests aren't blocking all of your line of sight there. There are some additional loading screens as well as some new loading tips. Borders are now turned off when removing the UI overlay with Shift plus F10 for those nice screenshots, and civic bonuses are now shown in tooltips for locked civics. So there have been some changes to the way the AI lays out those cities. Now, instead of districts being haphazardly placed, there is a little bit more to it. It seems that the districts and the designs are rotated to make the city look chaotic and sporadic and have a little bit more of an individual appeal and more variability to it. However, I will say that I'd like to see individual quarters just to take this a step further, and the devs have even said they would consider this, making individual quarters kind of like with Endless Legend, upgrade more as you surround them. I'd like to see more significant parts of the city that are more developed, of course, look cooler and become just iconic parts of the city that really distinguish one city from the other. Man, I really miss Endless Legend, but just to show you what I'm talking about, there are bonuses for Endless Legend that kind of highlight the city centers and focus on surrounding those cities for better yields and just a better overall aesthetic as the quarters kind of grow with your city. One critique I do have, though, for this update is that they have made fame and vassalization correlate a bit easier now. So depending on your fame, it might make vassalization for your opponents a little bit quicker in that way. So I did not really like this before, and now I definitely don't like how this is kind of playing out, in that I have played with multiple different scenarios, Pangea and multiple continents, and I found that the AI really start to snowball when they vassalize. So this just seems to make it so that players with a lot of fame will just really steamroll through the game. So not looking forward to playing this and seeing how this works out, but I'll just kind of keep my fingers crossed and hope this is ironed out. Now, if you are more curious about some of the big features coming with the Ibn Battuta update to Humankind, please make sure to check out my video that goes more in depth with some of the cultures receiving the bigger changes like the Phoenicians, the Huns, and the Mongols, and a few others with this update, as there have been a lot of culture changes and one video really just does not do it justice. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me through the process. I know I've not been uploading as of late, but if you do want to stay active with me, even though my videos are kind of slowing down with a lack of 4X gaming news really, please make sure to check out my community tab. I always try to stay updated, and I really appreciate the feedback and the interactivity I can have with you guys. So again, thank you guys so much for supporting me. Love you guys, and I hope to see you guys later. All right, peace.